Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Going for Two. My name is Ian Nickel. Parker Terrell is with me as well. Partner in crime. What's up, man?
Not much. It's one of the best times of the year right now. As basketball, March Madness converges upon MLB opening day with the NBA and NHL still going strong. This year, there's a World Cup that's coming in the summer also, which is pretty sick. We had an awesome little Winter Olympics interlude. So, this is a great time of year, and I'm doing well. Excited to talk about March Madness, as mentioned. We're going to do our MLB predictions with as we record this, we're one day before MLB opening day 2026. And maybe some breaking news in the college basketball world as well that we'll talk about.
The MLB did a weird thing this year. They have the exclusive Netflix game on Wednesday night. They have a couple of teams playing on Thursday and then a couple teams opening day games on Friday. So they stretch it out like 3 days, which I don't like. Play them all at once.
Yeah, that's weird.
Get all 15, give us 15 games on, I put them on a Friday. Go from freaking like 1:20 to 9 p.m. with all 15 games. Let people play hooky from work on that Friday. I know you got
Yeah,
like
we advocate for that. The Going for Two podcast advocates for playing hooky from whatever job or school you have to go to a baseball game.
absolutely, it's a must. It's an absolute must. Let's talk about March Madness first. Although I've been bitten by the baseball bug, and I've kind of dove into some of the baseball stuff. Got a couple bold predictions.
Yeah,
Bold,
we'll definitely talk about baseball, but
yes.
high level
But
stuff about March Madness. Oh, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say it is the tournament is madness. But I
Well,
know there's been a lot of talking points about the Cinderella and everything like that. And
let's talk about that. Let's right off the jump.
yeah,
We'll talk about the discourse. Um, so a lot of people are saying that March Madness is changed. Some people are going as far as to say it's ruined. I definitely would not go that far. I do think that I am a little bit more bought into these theories than maybe you are. But as I have said off air, give it another year, and then we'll have 3 years of data in the transfer portal NIL era to really make this judgment. But there has only ever been one other year where a double digit seed did not, or where a mid major did not make the Sweet 16. And that year was last year. So it's 2 years in a row. And that's pretty tough, I will say. The Friday of the first weekend was the first time ever that all of the favorites won. They went 16-0. There wasn't a single upset, betting wise. And yeah, I mean, there were certainly some highlights. High Point over Wisconsin being one of them. And in a different way, Iowa over Florida in the round of 32. Those are two big upsets that come to mind, as well as Texas over Gonzaga in the round of 32. Another first four team that makes it to the Sweet 16. What are your thoughts? I mean, there's a lot of people talking about this. There's a lot of people bringing up these discourse, although it got a little quieter because Saturday's games were so good.
yeah. I think sometimes the tournament can go through ebbs and flows of sometimes there is upset heavy years and other times there's not. When I looked at the bracket, I what I saw a bunch of teams that could win one game. The problem is I didn't see a lot of mid majors that could win two. And that was kind of just kind of how matchups work and how good the teams are truly like I know we don't see a lot of mid majors, but what I think we've been seeing is we've seen the quality of the 3 to 6 line kind of match up with the ones and twos. I know the ones and twos are phenomenal, but I think you're seeing, I think we're going to see a lot more competitive games in the Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight, just because I think there's a bunch of teams that match up really well and are, just as competitive. As far as the mid majors go, I know people have complained about NIL. I think maybe more so it's about the transfer portal. And I think just being able to poach some of those mid-major guys, I think that plays more of a factor than the NIL itself. Because all you need with NIL is you need one big donor. You need one big guy. And that makes the world go around. We've kind of seen it with Oklahoma State with T. Boone Pickens. We've seen it with Oregon and Phil Knight, but that more so with football. But heck, they've had a heck of a history with basketball too. Dana Altman aligns with Rubik's cubes or something like that. Like Louisville has
Yeah.
KFC, like kind of all sorts of things. You can get NIL money from anywhere, but I think the portal and poaching from the portal is kind of the big issue there.
Yeah, I might push back a little bit. I mean, stuff with Boone Pickens was pre NIL. Um,
Yes.
and a lot of the stuff with Phil Knight was pre NIL. But we are seeing maybe a different example would be what's going on at Texas Tech with
Yes.
Chad
Cody Campbell.
or Cody, yeah, Cody Campbell. Um, we just heard about some stuff with Mark Cuban donating to Indiana as well. So yes, one person can definitely make a difference. The Oracle guy to Michigan,
Yeah.
which he has zero affiliation aside from he's dating a girl who's a Michigan grad. But um,
Yeah, I
they,
definitely could have chose some better examples. Those were just the ones kind of
I'm
off the
not going
top of the
after your
dome.
examples. I'm not, yeah, but
Yeah.
NIL, there is, I certainly think it's much more of a symbiotic relationship between the two. Because if you didn't have NIL and you just had a wide open transfer portal, there would still be a lot of transfers. But would we see it the way it is now? For example, would guys stay more in their tier instead of a lot of times guys will like go up a tier because these bigger programs will be like, well, we need depth. So we might go and get this really good player from a mid major, and he may not even start. He might play, he might not. So what I'm saying is, if there wasn't a, but the reason that he would go to a bigger school is because he would make a lot more money, and instead maybe they would be transferring within that same like I'm going to start no matter what tier versus going to somewhere and ride in the pine uh, and hoping that maybe somebody gets hurt or whatever. I mean, that's what's hurting mid majors is if you have, it used to be to where if you were a really good player on a mid major, you started off, you're like a freshman, the average 13, and by the time you were a senior, you're averaging 21. And we're hearing about this guy from, St. Mary's is a stud. Now that kid gets poached after freshman year and goes to Oregon and maybe does well. And then he goes to Gonzaga and then he ends up at Texas. Like it's that kind of stuff happens all the time now. And so these mid majors are shuffling guys around as well. And you know as well as anybody, that's just not a recipe for success on how to beat these higher tier programs because not only do you not have guys that have played together for so long, which was kind of the hallmark of those good mid-major teams from over the years was it's like, oh, these guys have been playing every single play for 3 years. Instead, you have these guys that are having to, hodgepodge a team together just like everybody else, and it's just lesser talent, and that's just a fact. Um, and some other people smarter than me have brought up there was a period of 3 or 4 years that the only mid major or no, it was the only double digit seed that made the Elite Eight was Steph Curry's Davidson team for a good little stretch. So it's happened before to where there's not as many upsets, but I mean, certainly 2 years in a row is pretty good evidence. But we'll see after one more next year, with not a single mid major making it to the Sweet 16 is tough. These teams just aren't built to win 2 games, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it just depends on matchup. The benefit was you would have like 48 hours or probably less than that to study up on one of these mid majors that maybe you weren't expecting to, watch film on. So they'd get you by surprise a little bit. Um,
Let me ask you this.
okay.
Do you ever see a world where a Lehigh can beat Duke nowadays?
Well, I mean, we almost saw it with Siena. We almost
Well,
saw that happen. It didn't, but like imagine if they had just like,
Duke down 2 starters, but yeah.
yeah, what still could have happened. It doesn't, I mean, injuries or whatever, like it almost happened, and that has to be acknowledged. Um, I think I think the gap is closer than I think you think because all you because like basketball is such a it's a game of runs, and if you have a good run for a majority of the game, you're gonna win. If the shots fall, you're gonna win, and a lot of that is shooting. Um, because obviously that's the freaking name of the game. Um,
It's what makes the tournament so special is you're at an arena that you're not comfortable at. You're with a hodgepodge of a crowd that's going to be maybe supporting you, maybe not. It's certainly not going to be a home court environment unless you're in Oklahoma City and you're in Nebraska.
yeah, shout
Um,
out.
and it's just completely different than the regular season. And it's like it's this mid majors, it's their Super Bowl. Like their whole lives have been leading to this point. Whereas if you're at Duke, like you're expected to make it to the Final Four. That's the expectation. If you don't make the Final Four, it's a failure of a season. And nowadays, there's millions of dollars riding on that. So there's even more pressure. And so I just you have to also factor in which coaches about the coaching carousel has always been a thing, but it's even more in the spotlight now of like a good coach from a mid major is going to a major program pretty quickly. I would say maybe even quicker now than it used to be
Well, I
because
think
the
that's just
coaching
because
turnaround is so much more now. And we'll talk about that
coaches are just on short leashes. And let's
because there's so
now,
much money. There's so much money
yeah,
in it now,
yeah. But you could say that about every sport. It feels
right?
like
For
coaches do
sure.
not have the same amount of leash, excuse me, that they used to. And it feels like sometimes a lot of those firings are unjustified because, you can't like build the system anymore. You can't,
Like
there's
James
no,
Franklin.
yeah, there's no like you get a rebuilding year and get some time to adjust. There's no room for error. And it's because you've seen
Well,
other schools, you've seen Indiana, and I know this is football, but they came out guns a blazing right away, and they want that instant success, and that part's just not sustainable.
and there's football and basketball are completely different. And I'm not saying that you're saying that they're the same. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that. But basketball is like you really just got to get like 5 guys, like 5 or 6
Hmm.
guys, and get them to gel and everything. Football is a completely different animal. You got to get on offense, you got to get a defense, you
Hmm.
got to get it's crazy. Um, but to your point, I think that donors now, NIL, and especially now with revenue sharing, it's not just critical. It's if we don't have this money, then we're not going to be able to compete. And so if a donor gets upset about the performance, an AD has to listen to them because
Hmm.
now they control the cash flow of the entire department sometimes. And so, and you know as well as anybody, especially at some of these other schools, which we should be talking more about the tournament games, but
We'll get to it.
uh, there sometimes can be a chain reaction. If one donor gets upset, they go and talk to their other big donor that they've been donor buddies with for all these years and been like, "Hey, I'm not ponying up this year unless they get rid of this guy." And they'll be like, hey, "I'm with you." And then down the line, down the line, down the line, and then all of a sudden your athletic director is like, "Okay, well we're not going to have a budget if I don't make a move right now." And this is just all goes into us bemoaning the state of college athletics right now, um, which is not great. The product on the field and on the court and on the diamond and on the whatever you want to say field playing surface, I think is still really good. But the behind the scenes stuff is just so messy, so confusing, and just icky, honestly. And, and do we want to talk actually, because this actually segues into the breaking news a little bit better than us talking about tournament games. But
Yeah.
I mean, right before we started recording, North Carolina fired Hubert Davis, their basketball coach, who is 125 and 54 in 4 seasons, 5 seasons.
Five, I think. Yeah.
And they got bounced in the first round. Uh,
True. I think they were up by as many as
by
19.
VCU, a really good team, which a lot of people
Hmm.
had picked to win the A10 champion. And I will reiterate, without their best player, who's going to be a potential top four pick in the draft. And when they had him, they were a completely different team. One guy at North Carolina should not be your entire team, but I mean, you take Boozer away from Duke, what are they? You take DeBonsa away from BYU, what are they? You take
Hmm.
Peterson away from BYU or from Kansas, and then you have what their actual season was because he only played half their games. Um, so I mean, you can't say that he's not super important to their team. And without him, they weren't the same. And I think Hubert did his best. It just stinks because he is a North Carolina guy. He played there and he coached under Roy Williams for so long, and was handpicked by Williams to be his successor. And in his first year, and you can't say it's not with his players because he was one of the lead recruiters as an assistant. So they were his players. They beat Coach K in the last game at Cameron Indoor, and he had to make an apology. And then they beat him in the Final Four, and they go to the national championship and lose to Kansas. I think it's a silly firing, and I'm sure that they have somebody in mind, but Hubert Davis is a good coach, and I think he kind of got a raw deal at his alma mater.
You don't make that firing if you don't have somebody in mind. If they don't have somebody in mind, it's an abject disaster. Um, he got a raw deal. I agree with you. Um, it just did not. The press conference, we mentioned it. The press conference was not a good look. But
After their loss to VCU, yeah.
after their loss to VCU, but also like they were sixth seed, and North Carolina has a lot of expectations, but you're still making the tournament regularly. I think if you have Caleb Wilson, they could be a Sweet 16 team right now. And they're not. And I also want to add, this tournament has been good. I want to acknowledge that from the jump. I know there's a lack, the lack of mid majors, but this tournament has been good. And I feel like the behind the scenes stuff is taking away because people are complaining about the lack of mid majors, and they're like
Lack
the
of
tournament's
upsets.
ruined. There's been good games. It's been a good tournament. Everybody relax.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, it's easy to pile on the internet, and it's what makes March so special though are the upsets, are the mid majors, are these guys that we've never heard of, making a name for themselves and becoming legends of March. And I do think that there hasn't been It's not that they haven't been there in the last 2 years. It's just there's far fewer. I mean, Chase Johnston is going to go down as as a March guy. We're going to remember that guy's name
White
from
boy of
High
the
Point.
year currently.
Yeah, and
Um,
his insane shot from the logo. I mean, that will be an all-time clip. That's going to be a
yeah,
clip forever.
and him making his first 2-pointer
Yeah, and
during
so
that.
I agree with you. The and it's just like with football, the on field court product is still really good. It's just different. And it you just gotta take it or leave it. It's not changing. It's not gonna change.
Now, I
You hope that
wonder.
mid majors can close the gap. I don't know how they will. Because as I mentioned, revenue sharing is only going to hurt mid majors.
So
And
this is what I wonder. With the lack of upsets, does it make an upset more special because of it? Because if they're going to be, I mean, that's what an upset is, right? Like you
what was
don't
an
one, you
upset?
don't expect it, and then two, um,
What upsets happened
they're
the
pretty
the
rare.
first weekend? High Point, Wisconsin technically is an upset, but there's a 12
Yeah,
over 5 every year.
yeah. Maybe maybe our expectations have been skewed when you're expect. And also another thing, I feel like people complain when there's too many Cinderellas in the tournament, like when they get to the Sweet 16. So it's
The
just like
St.
kind of a
Peter's year, I was kind of like, this sucks. The
so
FAU San Diego State
yeah.
Final Four, I was like, this is kind of lame.
I thought that was awesome,
Shout
but
out
if
Dusty
you're
May,
gonna,
though. Great coach.
it feels like you're talking not you, but it feels like people are gonna be talking like like out both sides of their mouth because it's like okay, we want upsets, but we don't want that many upsets. It's just like you're asking for a weird specific that I don't think is possible. You want to
Yeah,
see the best teams, but you also want a bunch of upsets, but you don't want the upsets to, you know, go as far as, you know, like long Cinderella run. It's just like kind of like make up your mind.
yeah, but
And
this year, I mean, if Texas, the school with the biggest NIL money pool goes on a run as an 11 seed, that's kind of like, oh, our Cinderella is the team with the most money. Like, I mean, yes, they were an 11 seed. Yes, they were a first four play-in team, but that still just kind of leaves a little bit of a bad taste because, and that's the only option for a double-digit seed to make a run. I mean, Iowa might make a run as a 9 seed.
9 seeds can be Cinderellas.
Yes, Villanova was an eight.
Villanova was an 8 seed. North Carolina State was an 11 seed, and everyone
Yep.
loved that Cinderella. Obviously, I know the
Yes, we did.
circumstances are different,
Shout out IPL.
but depending on circumstances, Power Five teams can be Cinderellas. It just kind of depends on circumstances.
And they were
So,
also a first four team, NC State.
hmm first four to Final Four.
UCLA went from first four to Final Four.
Now, I don't consider them a Cinderella because, like, they have 13 national titles. Like, they are a blue blood.
UCLA?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, they were just in the first four that year. But yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, first four to Final Four, like, good runs like that. And going to be more of, maybe that's the new standard is like, you see kind of these, like, mid-tier Power Five programs, like they become the new Cinderellas that don't have a lot of history. And I know Nebraska's a 4 seed, but them going from zero tournament wins to now going to the Sweet 16, like that's a really good story. The stories are there. You just have to find them.
Yeah. And Iowa and McCollum, that's a great story, beating the defending champs,
Hmm.
Florida. And it was a great game. That guy should have been ejected, but whatever. Um, Florida was one of my Final Four teams, so I'm a little bitter. Uh,
Sorry about that.
I mean, did you watch the clip?
Of what?
So the kid who ended up making the game-winning three for Iowa earlier in the game got into like a um they both had the ball and they were like trying to rip it away from each other and they both go down and in the bottom of the pile he like throws a punch and misses.
Oh,
And Todd Golden like freaked out and was like begging the refs to review it and they wouldn't do it. And you can go back and watch like I don't it's just one of those things where it's like he literally rears back to punch but like it's like halfway through he realized what he was doing and like kind of like missed on purpose. It's tough.
so I think I was maybe I was watching Tennessee, Virginia during that time, but now I want to talk about St. John's in Kansas. What a
Yep.
great
Yep.
game. What a great game that was. Um,
The region of death, the East,
yeah,
with Duke, Michigan State, Kansas, and St. John's. And who's the two seed?
UConn.
UConn. Yeah. So what a game. Patino gets the job done. Disappointing end for this Kansas, really weird Kansas team that I've said all year had a potential to go to the Final Four. Honestly, the seed should have been flipped anyway. St. John should have been the four, and Kansas should have been the five.
Heck, St. John's should have been a three. They should have probably had Gonzaga's spot.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. And so they send St. John's all the way across the country to San Jose to play these
Wild.
games, and they get the job done though. Tino just wins games. He just wins games, and those St. John's kids are dogs. They're gonna have their hands full
With Duke, yeah.
with Duke. But also, I think in their St. John's has never beat Duke. They've played like 9 times, 8 or 9 times, and they've never beat them.
I saw something that like every time Duke played St. John's in the tournament, they went on to win the national championship. So
Whoa. And it's in
that's,
Indianapolis.
yeah.
Stars are aligning, and Duke is playing well.
Oh man.
And they just said that Caleb Foster might could come back earlier than expected.
Shoot.
It's great for me. I picked them
Yeah,
to
no,
win.
I know, but freaking Duke, man. Don't like it. I
And
don't
North
like it.
Carolina just fired their coach. Duke fans are
Yeah,
eating right now.
they they're up tremendously right now, and that sucks. We need a Mercer moment. We shoot, they may not happen anymore. So dadgummit, look at that.
There's no
Um,
way that happens. Mercer,
Shut up, Bob
that's
Hoffman.
one of the craziest upsets.
Shut up, Bob Hoffman. Roll shows.
Shout out. Anything
Great
else?
guy.
Dylan Daring or Darling? Darling. Dylan Darling.
The white Italian kid, no points, calls his number. Rick Pitino says he's got balls as big as church bells. Tremendous quote, by the way.
Yeah,
He
that
said
was
that before
earlier
the
in the
meeting
season,
morning.
and it's sick.
Just electric. I Patino's awesome. I gotta say it, like, no matter if it's, you know, you get 3 seconds or 14 seconds, whether it's, Madison Square Garden or an Italian restaurant, like the guy just wins. The guy
Yeah.
just wins nonstop. And
He's going to get the job done. He's going to finish the job, whether it's an
he,
Italian restaurant or Madison Square Garden or San Jose.
yeah. Or the XL Center, which I think is where UConn plays. It's really impressive to me because coaches stay at places. It's really impressive to me that he has won everywhere that he has been. I feel like that's a mark of a good coach that we don't
Except for
really
the
talk
Knicks. But
about
yeah.
college wise.
Yeah.
College wise. Knicks and Celtics. Larry Bird ain't walking through that door. Um, Metta World Peace ain't walking through that door either, but it hasn't mattered for St. John's as they made a Sweet 16 for the first time since 1999. Like
Same as Iowa.
same as Iowa. Does that mean we're gonna get Y2K
The
threats?
year I was born. The year I was born is when Iowa and St. John's last made it.
Shout out.
Um, we're not going to talk about Kansas much. Darren Peterson's wild roller coaster of a year ended. I will say this: he played in every single minute of the last few games of the season, the Big 12 tournament, and the NCAA tournament. So
Yeah. He's playing when it mattered. I give you
there is
kudos to
someone
that.
I do not know who said this. I do not know if this is true. There was reports. I saw this video. There was reports that like Bill Self famously has like a boot camp that he puts people through, and there are reports that Peterson went through that and like had such severe muscle cramps that he had to have like an IV, like he had to go to the hospital, and it just like freaked him out because he'd never had that problem, and that is
I
kind of what led to some of the stuff.
yeah, I've seen that he's had that like some anxiety stuff is coming to play.
He's
Fear
a
of
loner.
flying.
Then everybody just felt bad for him,
Yeah. Well, no, I've seen those reports come out now, which kudos to Peterson's agents for just having that right away as the season ended.
of
Like,
course.
look at our boy
I mean,
overcoming.
this he's all of a sudden now it's NBA draft mode now
Yeah.
for the agents.
Yeah. Let's see
Weird season
what.
for Kansas, a good team,
Yeah.
and it may
No, for
see Bill
sure.
Self retire.
I don't think he will. This feels like a ploy because I don't know if Kansas has like the coach in waiting or whatnot. Some other coaching news: Greg McDermott out of
Yep.
Creighton
Creighton retired.
retiring. Oh wait, we got to talk about the other team, Nebraska. I am beyond impressed with the way that they showed up. That was really impressive to me. I've never seen any team, maybe other than the Thunder, take over Oklahoma City quite like that. So, and that made the difference in that nail biter of a game. That game was awesome. What has been your favorite game so far? Because I think mine is Nebraska Vanderbilt
Yeah, I mean,
of the
High
tournament.
Point, Arkansas
Yeah.
was fun. Um, I would have to go with probably like Kentucky, Santa Clara.
We haven't talked
Uh,
about that. Holy cow.
yeah, that was a great game.
An unbelievable game. Like that is
Um,
March personified. Like that is what you want in March.
Otega Oweh, bank shot.
Yeah.
Um,
The
also one of the
beast.
only like six people, including Larry Bird, you mentioned, to have 35 points, like five plus rebounds, five plus like some stat line. Nuts. All time game from Oweh. Of course, then Kentucky goes on to lose to Iowa State the
Yeah.
next game. But yeah, I would probably go. That comes to mind. I mean, St. John's, Kansas, certainly. Um, and then Iowa, Florida.
Yeah.
VCU,
No,
North Carolina was a good game. The
it was.
comeback.
There's been some good games, and I think we're gonna get some good games in the Sweet 16. So
Definitely. Yeah, let's go through and preview some of those
let's do
quickly.
it.
We've got on Thursday, starting off, we've got Texas and Purdue. Is this where Purdue goes down? Purdue's looked pretty great. I'll say that.
I think because of the amount of time Purdue has to prepare. I think Purdue gets it done. Again, they've won the Big Ten championship. I think they go out in
They're
the
hot.
Elite Eight.
How many games have they won in a row? Like six, like 5 games in a row now they've won. 6 games in a row.
Purdue or Texas?
Purdue.
Um, they haven't lost since March 7th.
It's pretty impressive.
So yeah, they've been on a stretch of that's six in a row. Um, last road loss, I guess true road loss was Ohio State on March 1st.
Yep.
Um,
Texas has had a great run though in the tournament.
yeah. Sean
That
Miller does
kid,
that a lot. It feels like he will, you know, maybe his team's on the bubble, but then he like kind of turns it around in March enough. At least with like Xavier, maybe not much so with Arizona because he had Arizona doing really good. But Xavier and kind of now
yeah.
Texas.
It's a 7.5 point game. Purdue favorite, 7.5 points. I think it'll be close, but Purdue has really good guards
Mhm.
in Lawyer and Smith. I think we talked about this, but those usually make the difference in March. Then Midwest Classic, Iowa, Nebraska. We're all looking forward to this. Um, I have no idea who's going to win. I'll be happy either way.
Yeah, I I mean I want to say Nebraska, right?
They're probably the better
Girlfriend,
team.
they are. My girlfriend's a big fan. Uh, her stepdad's a big
Humble
Nebraska
brag.
fan, so that kind of runs in the family there.
Nebraska
Uh,
did just beat Iowa on March 8th
yeah.
in overtime.
They split because the infamous Fred Hoiberg gets a camera in his face and just pff.
Yep,
um
Iowa won by 5 in February 17th.
I man, Ben McCollum wins games. I've seen it personally. When he was at Northwest Missouri State, they played UCO. He won. He
Yeah.
just wins. So it's really hard to pick against Iowa. I'm going to, but there's always in the back of my mind, it's just he just knows how to win ball games. So that would surprise me. I think you take the over on beers consumed by both fan bases. There was reports that like Oklahoma City bars were running out of beer, and they had to get like ice and stuff. Like they were just running out of supplies because of how hard Nebraska goes. You got
All
Nebraska and
yeah.
Iowa coming to Houston. Houston, they better be prepared. The bars better be prepared.
All-time white boy matchup, Bennett Sturts versus Peyton Sanford. Um,
Yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait for that game. I can't wait for the next game either. Arkansas, Arizona, my beautiful Arkansas, my Final Four
Hmm.
pick. This is going to be their biggest test. Um, Arizona let Utah State come back in that game.
Still covered.
We saw a little bit
The
of,
game was at hand.
yeah, Arizona 7.5 point favorite as well.
I think so. I'll say this. I think Arkansas covers. Arizona will win this game. This is a game I'm going to stake my reputation on this game.
7 in a row. Arkansas has won 7 games in a row.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I raise the Arizona's 11. They're on an 11 game winning streak right now. Look, this is a reputation staking game. I picked them to win the national title game. They this team knows how to win. They know how to win in big spots. And honestly, what I think they'll do a really good job at is Acuff might have just a phenomenal game, but I think Arizona will make sure to contain everybody else to where like, yeah, Acuff did phenomenal, but the rest of the team did jack squat. And I believe, I mean, that's how they've been able to, I feel like that's how they've been able to beat BYU. Uh, yeah, DePonce had 35 and Arizona took care of business. Beat them 86 to 83. DePonce had 24. Just being able to contain those guys. And I think having that experience, I know they're different players with different styles, but I think when like they've been able to play against Peterson, they've been able to play against DeBonsa, I think that they'll be able to adjust to Akoff just fine. So I mean, that's kind of why I'm going with Arizona in that regard. I think it's going to be an awesome game. I think we're in for a classic, but I I think Arizona will be able to
Yeah.
contain a Cuff or I guess the rest of the team enough to get the edge.
Yeah. And what could be sneaky the best game, Illinois Houston to finish it out.
Rock fight, absolute rock fight in Houston. That makes me think Houston. Um,
Houston is a 3.5 point favorite, essentially at home.
yeah, home game for them. Yeah, I think you go Houston. Although the Illinois Balkans and Stojakovic,
Take me to
look at
the
that.
Balkans.
Look at
All-time
that.
call from 82-year-old Bill Raftery.
He still got it.
Yeah, he does.
He's still got it. I think he's the only announcer I've seen in their 70s and 80s where I'm like, he's still got it.
Bill
He's,
Raftery is what everybody thinks Dick Vitale is. Shout out Dick Vitale and all of his battles with cancer.
dude, that's actually a great point. Did you watch the first four game
Oh yeah,
with Charles Barkley, Dick Vitale, and a very hoarse Brian Anderson?
tough.
That was a tough one to watch because one, I was like really concerned for
I
Dickie
will not. I
V,
will
even though
not
he's had
judge
like,
Dick Vitale now after all of his
yeah,
battles with cancer, but I was not even a fan of his years ago.
yeah. Well, no, I was just I'm like he doesn't sound like because obviously he's like in his 80s, but you're kind of just I'm like, man, that doesn't sound. He doesn't sound right.
No,
He doesn't
yeah,
sound okay. We need to. I think it'd be a good time to just let him retire.
onions.
Onions, double order.
Next day we got starting off St. John's Duke.
I can't tell you how bad I want St. John's to win.
Duke is a 6.5 point favorite.
I want the Godfather to get it done. I want one last Godfather run. I want one last Patino title because I don't know how many years he has left.
St. John's UConn rematch in the
Electric.
Elite Eight,
Move it to Madison Square Garden.
or I don't know, or you either get
Yeah.
that or you get Izzo versus Patino in the Elite Eight.
Ooh, I think I need that
But what we're
because
probably going to get is Duke versus Michigan State.
that's what I'm thinking. If it was Coach K versus Izzo, I think that'd be fun. Uh, I I think the more intriguing storylines come with St. John's winning and it
No,
being
it doesn't. No, that's just for you.
okay, fine. We get guilty. You got me.
Duke is the
Like,
number 1 overall seed. People want to see them.
of course. We want to
If
see
they
them
come out of the
lose.
region of death, if they make the Final Four out of the region of death, that's very impressive without their starting point guard.
Yeah. I mean kudos, but
It'll
something
be a
about
great game, and
Patino,
I
man.
can't wait. I cannot wait.
There's something
Alabama,
about Patino,
Michigan,
man. I just can't get my
Alabama, Michigan. This will be. I mean, the Michigan is very, very well rounded. I do think they do favor defense, so it's going to be all offense versus defense. I wouldn't be surprised if Michigan beats the brakes off Alabama. Honestly, they're 9.5 point favorites right now. Michigan's really, really good.
This is either going to be a Michigan blowout or an Alabama nail biter. I feel like there's no in between. It depends on how good Alabama shoots. If they get hot, then we're looking at okay, this is gonna
Alabama
be
players famous for shooting people. Yeah,
yeah, shooting people and 2 pounds of weed.
not a lot in terms of all the weed in the world.
Indeed. Is he playing?
I don't think so.
Did
No,
they let okay. That's another thing to monitor. I
ankle
wish
monitor.
JT Toppin didn't get hurt because that would have made Texas Tech Alabama so much more interesting.
Yeah, first team All American. Tough.
Yeah. That was incredibly disappointing to see Texas Tech go out sad like that.
I agree 100%. Michigan State, UConn, aforementioned.
Izzo versus Hurley, super exciting coaching matchup.
Basically a pick 'em.
Yeah, I January, February Izzo.
This Michigan State team is different than previous ones, I feel like. They've got some really crazy athletes like Cohen Carr. Even Fears is a
Hmm.
good athlete. They're not the classic Izzo team. UConn just doesn't impress me. I mean, they are very good they're good on defense. They of course have these amazing plays, these sets
Hmm.
that Hurley has cooked up, but they can't shoot. So I wouldn't be I would pick Michigan State in this game. Because of the experience, but Danny Hurley, he's won a championship, so he has plenty of March experience at this point. And then Tennessee, Iowa State, not as jazzed about this one. I do think Iowa State, if they are able to get Joshua Jackson back, wins handily. Without him, I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's what I kind of thought about Virginia was that Virginia would be able to beat Tennessee just because you don't trust Rick Barnes. I don't trust Rick Barnes in March. Uh, I could not believe that
Yeah,
in
that was
the
a
Tennessee
travesty
Virginia
at the end
game.
of that game.
Did you see that?
Yeah,
Virginia got hosed.
they did.
That I to me, I thought that was clear that that was off the Tennessee player, and I'm not sure why Sterator or the refs saw like, oh, I don't think there's enough evidence. What do you mean? Like,
Sterator,
look.
Klein,
He's a bit of a clown. It's
the meme of like, let's cut it to Gene
sort
Sterator
of,
agrees
yeah,
with
I
the refs
agree.
every single time. Why do we need you?
If you're just gonna agree with the ref, what are you doing? I feel like Mike Pereira in the NFL, a little different.
And the
I feel
other
like
guy,
he'll
who's the guy
disagree.
who does it in football? He's bald.
What? Wait,
The
what?
guy who cut to the he used to be a ref. He was short and bald. Oh my goodness, that's gonna kill me
I don't know. I don't know who
for college.
for college. Matt. Oh, Matt Austin.
Yeah, yeah. Throw it to Matt.
Does
Matt
he
in the
disagree
booth.
with them? 'Cause sometimes, like, I
Sometimes he
just like
does. Yeah. Oh
look.
my gosh, they got me thinking about college football. I'm ready. I'm ready again. Spring training or spring practice just started, but I'm ready to be
Uh,
back in college football.
you know what I'm ready for? I'm ready for baseball. We got the hats
Yes.
on. We got the baseball
Yes.
backgrounds.
Yes. Yes.
Fire me the frick up. Let's play ball this game there. We want strikeouts, base hits, double plays. Like, let's give me all of that.
Yeah.
Can you take me higher?
OSU
Shout out
Cowboys,
Creed.
low key
Mhm.
cooking in college baseball too. Get up to O'Brate.
Yeah. Need to do that. Need to get up to Arkansas as well. Um,
All right, so that is the Sweet 16. Can't wait. It's going to be a
can't wait.
great, great weekend in college basketball. The tournament doesn't disappoint. We can talk about all these things, but at the end of the day, it's still it's still March. We still love it. Speaking of baseball, Ian has been proclaiming that he's been bit by the baseball bug. I would say that the bugs are encroaching. I wouldn't say that I've been bit necessarily yet. Um, but Major League Baseball predictions. We're going to give out a few. We're going to give out some bold predictions. We're going to give you who we think is going to win the divisions, who we think is going to be in the World Series, AL, NL Cy Young, and NL and AL MVP.
Yes.
Starting off with the easy one. Let's start with the that was a me being facetious. Let's start off with the AL East.
Okay. Uh,
I have the Yankees winning.
okay. I have the Blue Jays winning. Um, I know Bo Bichette left, but I don't know. He didn't play in the World Series at all. He didn't play on the playoffs. Uh, they picked up a pitcher. I wish I could remember his name, but it feels like they have almost majority of their players back, and it didn't feel like that it was a fluke. It felt like I know you get Garrett Cole back. I have the Yankees finishing second in the division, but I just think the Blue Jays are just a really solid, well put together team that I think they'll win that division and they'll have the best record in the AL.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are picking Boston. Boston made a lot of big moves in the offseason, getting Garrett Crochet, Wilson Contreras, Ranger Suarez. So
Lost Bregman though.
they did. Sonny Gray also went to the Red Sox. I do think all three teams make the playoffs. Yankees, Blue Jays, and Red Sox.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And maybe even the Orioles. Orioles with potential MVP candidate Gunnar Henderson.
So I have the Orioles
I
as
do not think all four make the playoffs.
I don't that'd be incredibly tough
I agree. So
to
I
do
if
so.
right now I have Yankee, we'll get to wild card.
Yeah.
But so you have the Blue Jays, I have the Yankees. AL Central, I have the Tigers.
I do as well. I freaking love Scooball. Scooball has become one of my favorite players in the league right now.
Yep.
Um,
More
they
to
have a
come from Scooball for
great
me later.
do what?
More to come about Scooball for me later.
Yeah. Uh, I I like their lineup. It's a good lineup. They have a bunch of good pieces. AJ Hinch is a great manager. If they can avoid that second half collapse like they did, they should be in a very good position.
Yeah. I have in the AL West the Mariners. This is easy.
So I'm just taking off the Ranger hat for a second. I'm gonna put on this normal hat real quick just to look. I know the Mariners are, you know, popular pick.
One game away from the World Series last year.
One game away from the World Series.
Retained everybody.
They no, they
They
Suarez went to the Reds.
okay, lost him. Yeah.
Hero for Venezuela. We didn't even talk about the World Baseball Classic. What a disappointment from the US
Exhibition
there.
game. Doesn't matter, exhibition.
All right.
No,
Uh
it's disappointing. It's frustrating. We got
yeah.
beat. We invented the
Same
sport and we
score.
got beat.
Same score as 2023 disaster. But here's the thing with the Mariners. They are a cursed organization, and there's expectations this year. In my heart of hearts, and maybe this is me coming like just being a hater. Maybe this is cynicism. I think the Mariners take a big step back this year.
They did also
And
acquire Brendan Donovan from the Cardinals,
yeah,
All
it just
Star.
feels too good right now. And I'm stupid, so I'm just gonna say it.
You're gonna say Rangers.
Yeah. If
Okay.
they could stay healthy, that pitching rotation is the best, one of the best in baseball. With DeGrom, with Evaldi, with the newly acquired Mackenzie Gore, the bats are concerning. But if you can have a healthy Evan Carter, a healthy Wyatt Langford, Josh Young, you still have Seager. I'm curious about Brandon Nimio. You get Jock Peterson, you get Kutch, get some veteran wisdom in there. I love the hire of Skip Schumacher. I think that I think the vibes are high in the clubhouse because I don't know, Schumacher is just some younger blood. And this is probably wishful thinking, but I do have the Rangers winning the the AL West.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a hot take, I would say, but um, they're certainly going to be a good team. I do think the Rangers. It all depends on their pitching health. Um,
It is. No, for sure. And obviously, when you make predictions, injuries are turned off.
of
So,
course. I mean, the Yankees, I mean, their pitchers all got hurt last year, and that
mhm.
hurt us. Um, and as of right now, we've got three starting pitchers starting off the year on the injured list. Um, with Cole and Rodon and Dominguez, I believe. So, wild card, I have this is a hot take. I have the Royals, the Blue Jays, and the Red Sox.
So this is one of my bold takes. I'm going to say the Mariners missed the playoffs. My wild card teams are the Yankees. Oh, sorry, hold on. Yankees, Astros, Orioles. Astros are a little old, but I feel like there was.
Red Sox not making the playoffs would be insane.
Yeah, I maybe I change it. I don't know. I just they made moves, but it feels more like kind of middle tier moves. I feel like they'll be in the mix.
Crochet?
Crochet's great. I'm talking about kind of the rest of the moves. I
Yeah,
just
I mean
don't.
Sonny Gray and Ranger Suarez, those are
I
big
don't
moves.
know if it's enough.
Roman Anthony had a big World Baseball Classic.
Not big enough. We lost.
True, true. Not
Mark
because of him.
DeRosa expelled.
I hate the Red. I hate the Red Sox. I
I
hate
know.
that I have to say this, but I think they're going to be pretty good.
It's a coin flip for me between the Orioles and the Red Sox for that last.
Yeah, I actually did write down Orioles or Red Sox, and I'm going with Red Sox.
Yeah. Royals are going to be in the mix too. I just don't think the AL Central, I think the AL Central will get one team in. Um,
I think
Reds will be
Royals
close
have the
though.
potential to make the biggest jump of any team in baseball. And that
Who?
doesn't get them the Royals. And that doesn't
No.
get them to as good as the Tigers, but I think that they can make a jump to the playoffs. Rangers also could be in that mix too,
Yeah.
as making a big jump.
Well, I mean, the Royals made the playoffs 2 years ago, missed the playoffs last year. I feel really good about Bobby Witt Jr. I think he's going to continue to break out, and we'll discuss that.
Yep.
He that'll be one of my
Yeah. Do we want to do AL
bold
Cy
takes.
Young, AL MVP now? Just do all
Ye-
of NL on its own?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
AL Cy Young is pretty easy for me. I have Screwball.
I want to go Scuball. I said
A lot of
Evaldi.
people are picking Crochet.
I said Nathan Evaldi. He's 36. I know. When he's hot, he's hot. He had a great 2025, a great second half. If he could put that on for the whole season, like before he got injured and was declared out for the season, it was kind of neck and neck between him and Scooball. So if he has the same thing happen again, I think he could potentially win it. But it wouldn't surprise me if Scooball won it. I think I just wanted to be different and I wanted to shout out Evaldi.
A little bit of home cooking in your list, but that's okay.
Oh, I no doubt.
It's
No
okay
doubt.
though.
I get it.
You're
No,
bitten by the baseball bug.
I get it. I'm bitten by the baseball bug. And I don't I wanted to be a little different because
Yeah,
I feel like the rest of my takes are chalk.
yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Crochet wins it.
I wouldn't
And
either.
then AL MVP, I have Aaron Judge, but I could easily see Bobby Witt winning.
So I put Vlad Jr.
Okay. Yeah.
I put Vlad Jr. Some of that Vladimir Guerrero, man. I love Vladimir Guerrero
Yeah,
Sr.
Vlad rules.
Um, and just having like a big unit at first base. Like I don't know, it just kind of takes you back a little bit. Prince, I miss Prince Fielder, man. Frick.
Aaron Judge, choker in the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah.
I'll be the
I don't
first
know
person.
if the MLB gets like player fatigue because what didn't Judge win it like the last 2 years or something?
Looking that up.
Did he not win it last
Yeah,
year?
but Otani's going to win
Yeah, true.
NL MVP.
I don't know. Well, that there was kind of me wanting to be different, and
He's
I'll tell
won
you my
it two
Bobby
years in a
Witt.
row. He's won it 2 years in a row.
Okay. Well, I'll change it up. Here's my This is my second of three bold takes that I have. I think Bobby Witt goes 40-40 this year. 40 home runs, 40 stolen bases. I think he's going to have a breakout year, and I think some people will say that he gets robbed of the MVP award because I think he's going to have a great year. Like leading all-star vote getter
Hmm.
type of year.
That would be awesome for the Royals. One of my playoff picks. So I'm
Yeah.
kind of banking on Bobby Witt having a great year.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, over to the NL.
Hmm.
NL East, I have the Mets.
I do too, and this is the last of my bold takes. I think the Mets win the most regular season games this year. Getting Bo Bichette, trust me on this. Trust me on this. It gets better. It gets funny. Um, I think the Phillies take a step back.
Ooh, I don't know about that. I have the
I
Phillies
hate
making the wild
saying it. You
card.
lose
I have the Phillies making the
Castellanos.
wild card.
Well, here's the thing. That play where Orion just throws it away, that felt like the end of an era. And I
Yeah,
just don't think
Harper
the
had a good
Philly.
World Baseball Classic.
Oh, he did? Well, good for him. I feel like they're not gonna get that same magic that they have, and I feel like that's kind of the end of an era there. I don't think that it will. What is it? I feel like I'm trying to find the word for it. It feels like the window closed for them in that moment, and I don't think they're gonna be able to get it back. Schwarber's probably gonna hit 50 home runs.
Hmm.
I love Schwarber, dude. Schwarber's awesome. There's bold take number four. Schwarber hits 50.
Yeah, so the Mets, re retooled their whole team basically in the offseason. Uh, I think if they stay healthy, yeah, they probably have one of them. They have the most second most talented on paper roster, I would probably say, other than well, maybe the Yankees and the Dodgers and the
Yeah.
Mets.
Um,
Uh,
Monso is gonna have a great year. I think because of the playoff collapse, I think it just makes him a little angrier, gets him a little fired up. It's like, all right, we need to figure this out because they're calling us the same old Mets again and classic Mets and law Mets, which I don't get me wrong, I enjoy doing, but I think they're gonna have. I almost want to say kind of like a 2021 Giants year where they, you know, kind of dominated pillar to post there. I think we see that type of run with the Mets. And then I have well, I guess we're talking about wild card later.
yeah. NL
I'll save
Central,
that.
I've got the Cubs.
I want to go with the Cubs. The Cubs is absolutely, without question, the right move.
Re-signed PCA to a deal today.
Fantastic move by them. However, I feel like the Brewers just find a way. They lose pieces and they still just like they'll have a 90-win season and edge out the Cubs or something. Like they're just always there. It's a weird consistency, kind of like they're almost like the Baltimore Ravens of the maybe more so the Steelers of the MLB without all the tradition, where they're just kind of like they're hovering around there. That's how I feel about the Brewers, and it would not surprise me if the Cubs won that division, but I'm picking the Brewers to
Tough to
win.
lose Kyle Tucker for the Cubs, but
Yeah.
um, like I said, you do re-sign PCA.
You get Bregman.
And then yeah, and then they went and got Bregman, so that's big. And then of course Dodgers winning the West.
Yeah, I got Dodgers winning the West. I mean, just
Not much to say.
not
Dodgers
much to say
are on.
at all.
They're an all-star team.
Yeah.
Wild card, I have Brewers, Phillies, And shout out, this is a little bit of a bold prediction. I have the Braves.
Oh, I also have the Braves. I have
Okay,
the
yeah.
Cubs, Braves, and Padres.
One of my bold predictions is Padres do not make the playoffs.
I thought about that too. I almost want to go with the Phillies to make the wild card, but
I
I
think
just,
Schwarbo and Harper have one more year in them.
you know what? Can't do it. I want to, you know what? Like, and this is maybe we can talk about this later. I don't know why. The Reds making the playoffs, I love that, and I want them to continue to have momentum, but I just think it's a little tough for them. Hunter Green is going to miss half the year. He's in a just a phenomenal pitcher. They have Chase Burns. Um, I think the and Terry Francona is great. I feel like the Reds will be an agent of chaos this year again, and they're going to be like the best 75 win team to exist.
Yeah, that would be funny.
Yeah. So
Uh,
let's go through the wild card predictions and kind of just go through the playoffs. We'll start with the AL. Um, do you have an ALCS? Because we could just skip the wild card part. If you
yeah,
just
yeah.
have
Uh, I had Red Sox Yankees.
in the ALCS,
Yeah,
oh wow, really?
yeah,
And do you have the Yankees winning?
yes.
That's no, that smells that smells like home cooking, but I don't think
Who
it's
else
not
in
like
the
an
who else in the AL? I like you're the one saying Mariners are going to take a step back. Do we really trust the Tigers or the Royals? So, I mean, there's the Jays, the Blue Jays. They did lose Bo Bichette, and there's no way that they can replicate some of the stuff that they did in last year's postseason run. There's no way. That was magic. That was a magical run, and they almost did it. They were like this far away from beating the Dodgers, and I just think it's very hard in baseball if you're not the super team Dodgers to repeat success because, as you know, there's a jillion factors that go into it, and so I think the Yankees rebound from last year's disappointment of a season, and I think the Red Sox utilize their offseason retooling and are really good.
I just realized we forgot to do NL MVP and NL Cy Young.
My NL Cy Young was Paul Skeens, and my
MVP
NL
Otani.
MVP is Otani.
Got the same thing. Okay. So sorry about that. Here's the thing. The Blue Jays spend a lot of money too. I think they're in the top five in MLB payroll. My ALCS is Blue Jays over Tigers. I am high on this Blue Jay team. I think they have a lot of great pieces, and I think the art of revenge is in their favor. I I think they have a lot to offer, and I think that, maybe they had the Yankees number a little bit, but also that was without Garrett Cole, and that was,
And Rodon.
all of that stuff. I To me, the Blue Jays are the most complete team in the American League. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm going with them.
Also, the Yankees have that one really good prospect that they could trade for somebody because they re-signed Bellinger. Um, so
Yeah,
look for that to happen. Yankees do have that ammo. I forget his name.
that'll be interesting.
Crockett, uh, maybe, but yeah, I have Yankees and Red Sox, and I do have the Yankees making it in the NLCS. I have Mets Dodgers, and I have Dodgers winning.
So I have the Mets losing in the NLCS on a sweep to the Cubs. I have the Dodgers over the Cubs. Like, it's going to be the
Wait, you
funniest version
mean
of LOL Mets.
you mean in the NLDS? Met Cubs over Mets in the NLDS.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um,
I was like, I thought you were saying you said NLCS, and I was like, what? You
yeah,
think
no,
the
no, no. I
Cubs are
have the
gonna?
Dodgers. I have the Dodgers winning the NLCS, and I have so my World Series is Dodgers Blue Jays. Your World Series is Dodgers Yankees. Now,
You
are
have a
you going to
repeat
do
of
the thing?
last year. You have a repeat of last year. I have a repeat of 2 years ago.
Are you going to do the thing?
No, I picked Dodgers.
Okay, I also picked the Dodgers. Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
gonna.
think
I
it'll
think
be
it
closer than it was 2 years ago. But I mean, how do you beat this until somebody proves that you can beat this team in the World Series in a 7 game series? I'm just not gonna.
mhm.
They
This
added
form of
Kyle
them, yes,
Tucker and Edwin Diaz.
yeah,
Like,
like they got better, and it's insane that that's even possible. Um, but yeah, that is
Otani is 31 years old.
gosh, he could play for another 10 years. I can't
Yeah,
believe the Angels wasted him like that. Him and Trout, like what happened?
one
I
of the
think
all-time. I mean, that's kind of a little bit what's happening right now with Connor McDavid and Draisaitl on the Oilers. Now they have made the Stanley Cup
yeah, at least they
Finals.
made the Stanley Cup. I don't think Otani made the playoffs with
Yeah, yeah, it's different,
the
but it's
Angels.
like two
Yeah.
guys. Just how could you not figure this out?
Yeah. No, it is
I honestly
something.
forgot he played for the Angels. Completely blocked that out of my mind.
I think a lot of people do.
Nuts. Where is
Or
Trout? Trout's only 34. I know he's had some
only
injuries.
in
I know he's
baseball, like I feel like with baseball, you can see guys have like a really good 20s and then in their 30s they fall off the face of the map. Or fall, yeah. That's
That's
the
so
right saying, right?
sad.
I feel like that might happen with Trout. And then we look up and then one day he's like an Oriole. And we're like, "How did you get here?" And he's like he maybe plays like 80 games.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, he's having knee problems. He's
He
tore his
had
meniscus. He's tore his meniscus in the same knee twice.
yeah, I think his career's
Tough.
almost up.
Tough, man. So yeah, I have Dodgers over Yankees in the World Series, and my bold predictions are Padres miss the playoffs, Scooball not traded, and Cal Raleigh takes a step back for the Mariners, but they're still good.
Okay. Uh yeah, Schoolball wasn't gonna get traded. I maybe should have added that. And I think I mentioned mine earlier. Mets win the most games, and I think they'll win 100 games. I think they'll be the only team to do so. Uh, Bobby Witt goes 40 for 40. The Mariners missed the playoffs, and I feel like I had one more.
I mean, Rangers making the playoffs.
Yeah, Rangers
Rangers
making the
winning the
play.
division.
Rangers win division is a bold enough take, but I I think it'll be somebody other than the Mariners winning the division. It's gonna be either Rangers or Astros because
Astros. I could see Astros. I hope your Rangers are good. I hope they are.
I'm so too. Honestly, I think they'll if they get, I think they'll get 500 at least. At least they'll get to 500. But that division is going to be brutal, and they'll go down to the last week.
Hmm.
So like that's not like it's not going to be a runaway division.
Yeah. Last thing, I'll read. Been a statement from Hubert Davis, fired North Carolina
Oh,
coach. Tonight, I was let go by the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. My desire was to continue to coach here. This opportunity has truly been such a blessing. I thank Jesus literally every day for giving me the opportunity, relationships, and experiences with the kids and my staff. I'm very proud of what we were able to accomplish together. My goal is to coach again in the very near future.
let me look at the job openings real quick. And also, like we discussed this off air. But let's throw out a couple of the options for that North Carolina job that we think would be good. You mentioned a few. I know you mentioned. Well, I'll let you do it.
I mean, you got to call Otzelberger in Iowa State. You got to call Tommy Lloyd at Arizona. You got to call Danny Hurley at UConn. Then I feel like you get into a lower tier after that of um of guys like, you know, well, then you got the old heads, which I don't think will leave their schools, like Mark Few, like Kelvin Sampson. Um, I don't think there's any of these guys that have been moving around a lot, like the Kevin Willards of the world, that would be good enough for North Carolina.
Willard always felt more like a Big East guy to me,
Yeah.
so I think he'll stay
Um,
there. Um, hmm.
I mean, there's the McCollum. You might call McCollum from
Yeah,
Iowa. But this is if I was North Carolina and Otzelberger somehow turned, Otzelberger's buyout is only 4 million.
shoot, I could pay that off.
Nate Oates is an option. They might call him Todd Golden from Florida. These are guys that have like 10 million plus buyouts though. But North Carolina will pay it. Um,
No, yeah, North Carolina will get the pick of the litter
I
with
mean,
this
if I'm
coaching
North if
search.
I mean, if I'm North Carolina, it's Otzelberger or Todd Golden or maybe Tommy Lloyd.
I'm throwing this out there. What if you got um Texas Tech's guy?
Hasn't won enough.
Did he not make an Elite Eight?
This is North Carolina. They just fired a national championship coach.
Runner up. Fair. TJ's he's kind of a Midwestern guy.
This may be a little bit of a hot take. I'm kind of talking myself. Danny Hurley might leave UConn for North Carolina. Is that crazy?
Would he? Like, I don't think that relationship is soured enough.
I just don't like what jobs would you not turn down? Kansas and Duke?
Yeah. He turned on the Lakers job.
Of course, they're at the time
Yeah, they
they
were a
were
dumpster fire. I'll get that, but
yeah.
that was that. I mean, if you're gonna rank the jobs
I
in
mean, UConn is
basketball,
obviously a place where you can win national championships. He's
yeah,
done it. But I don't know. Well, but he's able to get high level recruits there. Maybe not. Maybe not.
someone told me Scott Drew might.
You said
Scott Drew
that
could be a
Scott Drew.
candidate.
That would be interesting for sure.
I know
Um,
Baylor's had an off year, but
does Baylor hire Tang? uh, I don't think
I
that would not be very smart. If Baylor did
I
that,
think they could hire him as an assistant. I feel like
I think he'd
if
go with him to North Carolina.
that too. I think that maybe Baylor's thinking, okay, let's get the magic back. Let's grab Tang and let's try to keep Drew. I guess. Drew's only 55, by the way.
That actually makes a lot of sense. Altelberger, Tang, or Lloyd. Those are my big three.
Tang?
My bad. Golden. Altelberger, Golden, or Drew.
I'm gonna
Todd
say,
Golden's buyout is 16 million.
yeah.
That's a lot.
I'm gonna say Oates,
Oates is 10 million.
Oates, Drew. I'm gonna throw this out there. Dusty
What is
May.
what is Iowa State's basketball NIL?
I
It
have
can't
no
be a
idea.
lot. It can't be a lot.
They may feel some type of way of like you know what? Like we just lost Campbell. We can't lose this guy.
They have no that it's only a $4 million buyout.
Fair, fair. He might be the guy. And then I'm trying to think of like
And he would kill it there, dude.
he
He
would.
would kill it with a big budget.
Hmm. He would. I'm trying to think of like some guys with North Carolina
Scott
ties.
Drew would do I think Scott Drew would probably do well there.
I think he would too. You know who else I think would do good there? Hubert Davis, but they just fired him. So,
Yeah, you know who would be a cool candidate would be North Carolina legend Hubert Davis, but he got
will
fired.
you ruin that?
What if Baylor and they just flip coaches?
That'd actually be really interesting. I could, you know what I could maybe see they bring back Roy Williams for like a year.
Mm,
Although
I
I
don't
feel like
know.
he's pretty content.
Yeah, I think he does not want to deal with these NIL divas.
Yeah. No, I'm absolutely with you. Let me
I mean,
see here.
Arizona is a blue blood
They are.
and have lots of money for basketball. So, I
They
mean,
do.
Tommy Lloyd, maybe not so much thinking about leaving. Um, I mean, we'll find out pretty soon because if they
Yeah.
don't make a hire relatively quickly, then it's most likely a coach that's in the tournament still.
I want to throw this guy out there. I got two guys. Bill Murray's kid that's at UConn, the assistant, and
That's
then what
not
about the
near
guy
enough
from
experience.
what about the guy from Louisville?
Yeah, maybe. There's better guys.
There
Make
are. I
Scott
just
Drew say no to you before that.
yeah. And it's a weird thing to like with a job like this. It's kind of hard to predict because you don't know who will say no. With, maybe some other like kind of lower tier
I think
jobs, you'd be
Nate
like,
Oates would say yes.
I think he would too. I think that like if I were to like make a wager, I think Nate Oates would be my
But
bet.
okay, so North Carolina is kind of like Michigan or Ohio State football, where it's like we're hiring you because our expectation is national championships, but also you better beat Duke.
I feel like
So
he could
who
do
can we
that.
get to beat John Shire and Duke? I mean, nobody understood that as
Yeah.
much as Hubert Davis
Yeah. It's such a tough thing.
because, like, I mean, we saw it with Ryan Day. It's like you might win the
Yeah.
national championship, but you didn't beat
You beat
Michigan.
Michigan.
So
But yeah, no. Gonna be we'll follow that very closely. And
that's a
so
top three job. I mean, I've been North Carolina's campus. I've been to the Dean Dome. It's
nice.
it's a mecca of college basketball. As is Cameron Indoor Stadium, as is Duke. I've been to both. Uh, but it's it's hard. It's a hard place to say no to if you're a recruit.
Yeah. Do you think Dusty May would leave?
I forgot about that. Yeah, his buyout's also not as much as you would think. But Michigan has unlimited money, so they could probably be like,
Yeah.
"Well, we'll just redo your contract."
Would Rick Pitino?
Too old.
No. Also, he's home in Queens. So
Yeah, St. John's needs to be the place he retires.
yeah.
What
All
about
right.
this would be nuts.
Yeah.
This would be absolutely nuts. Coach Cal.
I thought about that too. Would he do that?
I don't know. Arkansas has a lot. They're
Yeah.
funding him well.
Well, they're funding him, and I feel like the expectations compared to a Kentucky And in North Carolina, like he's like aren't as high. And I feel like it'd be hard for him to go back to that where the expectations are that high.
Yeah.
And where
Like
like, if you have like a bad tournament outing, like they're coming for your head. Because the same thing happened to
he
Hubert.
deserved the scrutiny at Kentucky, but yes.
He did. I'm saying I don't know if he wants to go back to that. Because that's what you'd
I,
be getting with North Carolina.
I don't think that he would. I honestly, at his age, I don't think that he would.
Yeah.
Um, oh, we didn't even mention Brad Underwood.
Yeah. It's a possibility. I mean, he left Oklahoma State. That
He's a really good coach.
he's a good coach. And it sucked that they only had him for a year.
And Illinois is not a blue blood. They're very good. They've made a couple Final Fours. They're not a blue blood. He's 62.
Hmm.
I just
He's
think there's
good.
no way they go mid. There's no way they go mid major.
No,
There's
you
no way
can't.
they go an assistant. It's gonna be a guy from a blue, like a blue blood or something like that. And Todd Golden, I think, is a logical choice. But I think I mean, a $16 million buyout, that's nuts. That's like borderline, like I don't even know. That's like bordering on a football coach's buyout.
Yeah. No, it'll be interesting. Just
And they're paying Hubert
yeah.
Davis $5 million to leave.
Yeah. So definitely makes you think.
A hero. Hubert Davis, a hero. A North Carolina
Hero.
hero.
He'll always be a hero. I don't care. You
Yeah,
killed
that
the
I wonder
snake
if
that
that
was
situation
Coach
shakes
K.
out a little bit like Mike Gundy in Oklahoma State. I
Yeah.
mean, Hubert Davis made a statement that said, I wanted to keep coaching here.
Hmm.
So I'm sure that that relationship is not great.
I feel like the press conference did him in where he just like didn't have any answers. If he had answers, I think maybe he stays.
Maybe he knew the writing was on the wall at that
Maybe.
point. But we've already talked about it. Losing
Hmm.
your best player is tough on any team. We saw it with Louisville in the tournament.
Hmm.
We've seen it with Texas Tech. I feel like everybody gives them a pass. They'll be like, well, yeah, they lost JT Toppin. Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
nobody
that's a
gave
first team All
Carolina a
American.
pass, which is really weird. Like that was one of the factors I had in picking VCU.
A lot of people, I believe VCU was the favorite. They
You
were
know what
like a
would be a
two and a
bad
half
hire
point
for them?
favorite.
Ryan Odom from Virginia.
Yeah, I could see that. I could potentially see that. But what about the recruiting part of it?
I don't know. I'm gonna tell you.
Something nuts we said would be Nolan Smith. That would be nuts.
Yeah, I feel like that Duke
Sleeper agent.
those. Now I'm gonna throw this out there. I don't think there's a single shot this happens. What about Tyler Hansborough?
No, but maybe as an assistant. I'm surprised he
Would be
already
fun.
wasn't. He already wasn't an assistant there.
Yeah.
But
All right.
crazy stuff in college basketball. We're both excited for baseball. I'm still a little bit in basketball mode. Ian's already
Yeah.
ready for baseball.
Well,
Um,
yep. I mean,
but
NBA
that will be
playoffs
the
coming
end of this
up.
very long episode.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week though to talk about Sweet 16, talk about Elite Eight, um, and to preview the Final Four and the national championship going forward. So be sure to like, be sure to comment, be sure to subscribe on all the podcast platforms. Be sure to follow us on x.com, going for two pod, as well as Instagram, and follow both of us on socials.
Going for two pod IP.
I always forget that. Going for two pod IP.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
Of course, be sure to check out the Extra Point as well. That's on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We got a lot of fun content out there. We're just now completing bracket month, and I got an exciting announcement about a potential new team that I could root for. You're gonna want to tune into that. See you guys.
Thank you all.